Perhaps it was because, after losing her only child, Linda, she found renewed faith in God. Through prayers and Bible study, her spiritual life deepened, and she embraced a prophetic walk with unwavering devotion. Grace was more than a wife and a mother. She was a compassionate soul with a heart of giving. She dedicated her life to helping others, always extending kindness to less fortunate and actively engaging in the community service. A devoted Rotarian, she spent weekends volunteering with local charities like Helping Hands. Through her Uber business, she built meaningful connections, becoming more than just a driver. She was a friend, a listener, and a source of encouragement. We will always miss a piece of our hearts, but we find comfort in the love she left behind. Forever in our hearts, Mrs. Grace Pulkol Adams, her life in photos.
Grace Pulkol Adams, coming live from the Permian Basin, West Texas. I was born and raised in Uganda. It's a small country in East Africa. I was a spoiled child growing up. I had my daughter fathered by an American dad. He brought me to West Texas. We lived on a ranch. I became a cowgirl working on a ranch. When he got sick, he couldn't walk, and that was a wake-up call for me to put myself back to school, get a job. I put myself through nursing school, and when I finished nursing school, I went back to school and acquired a bachelor's in healthcare administration. I'd worked at the hospital for 5 years. I'm a life coach and a business trainer. I've been through so many challenges in life, but I want to help other people come out of it in a better way than I did, because for me it took me a long time to get here. If I knew all the tricks, it would be easy. Right now, I'm moving on with my dreams, moving on with joy and success. I want to help other people overcome their life challenges in different ways. I have the potential of helping them in different ways. I'm here for you if you have any questions, or if you need any help, if you need anything, just reach out to me. I'll help you out.
Hello, my name is Grace. I'm here to help you understand that being being self doesn't have to be a fight that comes and goes. You don't have to be influenced by other people to be comfortable with your own body, your own self. I know there's a lot of kids out there that are struggling with self-esteem, self-love. If that's you, well, you're not alone. I'm here for you. And I just want you to understand yourself, understand your body, know who you are, and you can't be somebody else, you can only be you. So being you is always on style.
Hi, my name is Grace Pulkol Adams. I'm here to give you a preview of my upcoming event. Do you feel like you can't achieve your goals this year? Do you feel like your long-term dreams are beyond your reach? Well, you're not alone. But you're wrong. You can do anything you set your mind to. I'm here to help you overcome your barriers, to fulfilling your purpose in life and ultimately realizing your dreams. It's likely that the greatest obstacles to your success are in your own mind. In this workshop, I will help you uncover your superpower and your major purpose in life. Define the ultimate driving force to accomplishing anything in life through a technique called 7 levels deep. Establish clarity, a clear vision of where you are and where you want to go. And begin to put a life plan together that will guide you in establishing your daily, monthly, and annual goals. You can really have join my workshop.
Praise Jesus, praise God everyone. In this video, I'm going to be narrating the last days that we had with Grace and just showing you some of the events that took place from when we were in the ICU unit at Midland Memorial to preparing property. At this point, this is where Grace was, in the room where she breathed her last, where she got the best medical care possible until we lost her. I was just sitting there watching the monitors the entire time. At this point in this video, this gentleman had come to take her body to the morgue after she had passed. It was a few moments before this moment that I had let the family know that we had lost Grace. I transitioned into taking care of the things in her upbringing, and her wish was that whatever she had should be given to a charity. So as you can see, almost all Grace property went to a charity called Helping Hands in Midland, Texas. This particular charity had been there for Grace at one point. They had also supported her. All these boxes in her garage and bins were full of clothing that was donated to the charity and other personal effects. This was one of the ways that Grace still continued to bless people. even in her final days, even in her last hour. It's a testament that she has been a blessing to people who will never know her, who may never know where they receive these things from. Thankful for our friends Holly, Alicia, and Kat that you have seen in there. They came and really supported with going through everything and making sure we save the essential and valuable things to be sent back to her family. Went to the charity by helping hands. This has been very big lesson for most of us to have that kind of heart. Grace was very gracious in me, very giving, very generous, and she was always serving others. She was also a Rotarian. She participated in a lot of community service activities that had to do with giving back to community. So we bless God for her life. At this point, we have an empty garage, empty apartment, as a testimony that everything had been given away to the charity. This is Grace's apartment where she spent her last years, where she spent the last moments when she was not in good health, and the same place where the ambulance picked her up from. These are some of the artifacts she had where we discovered she loved African crafts and gave these away to her friends as presents. Most of them have souvenirs of this kind that came from Grace. She was also very enterprising, and she had a transportation business called Moving On to Transportation. Moving On to Joy. Grace was also a nurse. And she did a bachelor's and master's, which she was not able to complete, in health care administration. This is her degree certificate from the University of Phoenix. And she's also an author of 3 children's books that are on Amazon. We are all encouraged to continue supporting her legacy and buying the books and spreading the word. So at this point, we say goodbye to the Everett and Alley Village, the apartment where Grace had spent her last years and her last breath, her last time before she left us. It will always be nostalgic, but we bless the name of the Lord.
Hi, Pulkol family. This is Holly. My dear Grace, where to start? Grace was one of the sweetest souls I've ever met in the world. She would do anything for anybody. She was always upbeat, always positive, always helpful and friendly, and just so much fun to be around. So my friend Kat used her as an Uber and got her number and shared it with all of my friends. And then we all just fell in love with her one by one. There's like 7 of us who all love her so very much and miss her very much. And she just started off just giving us rides, and then we ended up starting to hang out. So a couple Christmases ago, she gave us a ride to a Christmas party, and we said, hey, you want to stay? And she did. And she stayed the whole time and then gave us a ride home. And she went to my birthday. Last year we went to see Bob Marley, One Love, one of my favorite musicians in the world. I love his message, and I love everything about reggae music. And she went to see that movie with us, and then she went to dinner with Vicky and me and my daughter and Alicia. After that, she was at Alicia's pool birthday party last summer. She was just the best, and I just loved her. And she had her Bible with her every time. And I just, even though she went through so much and endured so much, losing her husband and losing her daughter, she kept saying, trust God, and she just kept on plugging and kept on trying and getting her master's in business online and writing the books and being a life coach and Ubering, and she was an amazing person. And Daddy's little cowgirl, this was her favorite, the hippo that loves to fish, because she used to giggle and say, it's so funny because hippos are vegetarians. They don't even eat fish. And so I love that about her. She loved that. And then her newest one, the clever chameleon. Oh my gosh, so much love and so much. My kids that I work with I teach at Mother's Day out twice a week, little kids, and they love these books. And so, yeah, that's Grace, just Grace. And my parents loved her, so much love. And I'm just so glad to get to talk to all of y'all and on the phone today. And my prayers are with y'all for a wonderful, peaceful, beautiful send-off for her life. And I'll never forget her, ever.
Hi. We are Holly's parents. I'm Patricia.
And I'm Travis.
And we had the first time I met Grace. We go to an Anglican church, and we went to our church, and she was there with Holly, our daughter. And she was sitting there smiling and holding her well-read Bible. You could tell how much she cared for it. And every time we saw her in church, she would just wave and smile, and we'd visit. And we treasured these 3 books she gave us that she wrote for children. And she especially would laugh and say, my favorite is the hippo that loves to fish.
And I have bad eyesight, so I used Grace to drive me around town several times. And she was always eager to do it and very helpful and always fun to be with and a loving person.
Yes, we just are blessed to have known.
Yeah, we're blessed to have been friends with Grace.
My name's Vicki. I first met Grace with Holly, and she used to Uber me places. That's how it started. But she really ended up being so much more to all of us than just a girl that Ubered us. She just got into our hearts. She was the most beautiful soul. And I remember we were driving one day, and it's after she had published one of her books. And she knows that I have grandbabies that read. And so she offered me a book. And my granddaughter loved the book. And as a matter of fact, she read 2 of them to her little sister. And they both just loved it. And, you know, we're heartbroken over sweet Grace. And I'm sorry I didn't get to meet her family, because I know they had to be beautiful, wonderful people to raise a lovely lady like her. And please accept my deepest condolences and know that she was so loved here. Love you.
Hello, this is one of Grace's friends, Marcy Rogers. I just wanted to say we miss her and love her so much. She was really a great woman. A couple of things she did for me. She was our Uber, and when I had hip surgery last year, she came and picked me up at my house and took me to the doctor and helped me in and out of the car with my walker and my bags and everything.
And she also went to my best friend Holly's birthday party at the movies to see the Bob Marley movie. So just a couple of things that reminds me of her and how much we love her and we'll miss her. All right. Bye for now.
Hi Grace's family, my name is Annie. I am a friend of Grace's from Texas. I just wanted to share a few words about Grace. She was a great soul. She was someone with such kind words and always had like really good positive advice. When I met her, I was going through a divorce and she let me see that everything was going to be okay. She helped me get through those hard times and I appreciate her for that. She accomplished so much in the time she was here and we are all going to miss her dearly. Just know you did a great job creating her and bringing her up because she was one of the nicest people I've ever met.
Grace was such a phenomenal woman. I met her several years ago, 4 or 5, with some friends that used to use her for Uber. So we started using her for Uber. Little did I know she was become such a blessing to my life. An amazing woman, a godly woman. She went above and beyond every day, all the time. Last year I broke my right heel and I was having to stay in a hotel. She came to my house, got the stuff I needed out of my house, brought it to me at the hotel, would do anything that anyone asked of her. A true blessing and a very, very dear friend of mine. I miss her every second of every day. I love her and I will miss her for the rest of my life. She was a great, great woman. And I want to thank y'all for sharing her with us, the time that y'all did. Thank you so much, and I love y'all.
My name is Mercy Akongo, and I'm joining you from Melbourne in Australia. I would like to start by sending my condolences to the family of my late friend Grace Pulkol. Especially my condolences goes to David Pulkol, who is also a close friend of mine, and condolences to Grace's siblings. My condolences also goes to other relatives, friends, and fellow mourners. As we celebrate and remember Grace, please allow me to say a few things about my dear friend, Grace. I first met Grace in 2008 in the UK, and ever since, me and Grace basically remained close friends. For those who don't really know Grace, Grace was a very humble person. She lived her life with simplicity. She was a woman of faith. She loved God very much. Grace lived her life in ways that she felt were pleasing to God. And she was also a very strong and resilient person. I've seen Grace handle circumstances and events that is meant to destroy her with grace. Grace was also a very hardworking person. She loved to do different things. One of the things that she really wanted to do was to give back to Karamoja and to Uganda.
Hello, my name is Kat. I live in Midland, Texas. I believe it was about 6 or so years ago when I first met Grace. She was working for Uber, and I had called and requested a ride. And she was awesome, so I asked for her personal number, and that's
She never backed down. She went back to school.
Grace Pulkol Adams today.
A void of in our lives without grace. Let's honor her spirit by cherishing each moment together and supporting one another through this journey of grief. We love you, Grace, and will never forget you. Eternal rest, grant unto her, O Lord, and let perpetual light shine upon her soul. Amen.
Praise Jesus. Praise God, everybody who's gathered here today. My name is Fortunate, and as we celebrate the life of Grace Pulkol Adams today, I have the privilege of sharing the time that I spent with her in her last days here on earth. Grace had not been okay in terms of her health for some time, coming from last year or maybe a little much longer, but she started to really deteriorate from end of last year coming into this year. And at some point, the family needed somebody to go over to Midland, Texas and support her to help her recover so she could come back home to Uganda as was her wish. And me, I live in Massachusetts, so the brother, Apostle Emmanuel Lemfo, reached out to me on behalf of the family and requested if I could put whatever is doing on pause and support Grace. And I think that the privilege that I had, that I was able to go and be with her at her bedside. Grace was admitted at the ICU unit in the Memorial Hospital in Texas by the time that I got to her. At that point, the doctor's report was that they had already done whatever they could. Unfortunately, by the time she was picked up by an ambulance some days before and taken to the ICU, her situation really went down very fast. And they treated her aggressively. They gave her the best medical care and attention possible, especially in this country. And we really appreciate the hospital. We appreciate all the medical people who were next to Grace the entire time and tried to save her life. But by that point, the day that I walked into the hospital, I was told that she had been given 48 hours to leave. But by the grace of God, we still had Grace for another 3 days from then before she left us on February 9th, 2025. And I had to break the news to the family. In the course of those 3 days before she passed, the doctors used to come by her room every day, the nurses, and they would keep checking and saying, how come she still hasn't gone into cardiac arrest? Because they already thought Grace would be gone a couple of days before then. But she was very resilient, and she hung on for more days. They could not explain it in terms of in the medical terms, let's say, or in the medical reality. So we bless the Lord even for those extra days that Grace had with us, even though she had gotten to that point. The family was able to speak to her on the phone. I would call them and they would speak to her. We believe her spirit received the last words that the family had to share. And I was with Grace up to the last point when she went into cardiac arrest. And she was moved to the morgue, and the dad, Honorable David Pulkol, gave me the opportunity and the honor to represent him as the legal next of kin. I took on every responsibility that I had to make sure that Grace was transferred very well to a funeral home and then undertake the arrangements to have her brought home back to Uganda. After that, the next step was to take care of her property, her apartment, her belongings, her car, and any other things, which I did for a couple of days that turned into weeks. I thank God for strength. I thank God for His grace, just like her name, because it prevailed in that